This is your daily dose of updates regarding the Palestine-Israel conflict. This is what I have for y'all today. By the way, today is the end of January 10, 2024. The IOF raided Jenin city while razing the city streets, and its refugee camp was a victim of that as well. Additionally, the Israeli military reinforcements raided Nablus city as a part of their wrongful military campaign. Many Palestinians were murdered and injured due to the brutal Israeli airstrikes and shootings from drones at citizens that targeted Rafah, southern Gaza. The IOF also demolished a home of civilians in Sur Bahar, which is located in southern Jerusalem. Jerusalem is not in Gaza, obviously, and the age group is nowhere near Jerusalem, so this is a war against civilians, which is pretty obvious at this point. Once again, brutal heavy Israeli airstrikes targeted southern Lebanon. Not surprised. Brutal Israeli bombardment also took place in Al-Qarara town, which is north of Khan Yunis. The IOF withdrew from southeastern area of Deir al-Bala, which is located in central Gaza. A fire broke out following an Israeli airstrike in Khan Yunis city. An area near Al-Aqsa Hospital in Deir al-Bala city and homes of civilians were included and targeted in that area as well, which led to many deadly injuries. Fouad Abu Hamash, the photographer of the Palestinian Red Crescent, was murdered by an Israeli airstrike in Deir al-Bala along with his 3 other innocent colleagues. Israeli airstrikes also murdered an innocent young man by targeting an ambulance in Deir al-Bala. Palestinian journalist Ahmed Badair was killed by an Israeli airstrike in Deir al-Bala today. Lastly, Israel's military dropped flares over shelters of displaced Palestinians in the vicinity of Nasser Medical Complex in Khan Yunis, which led to the deaths of many innocent civilians. This is what I have for you all today. Stay tuned for tomorrow and more to come. Right now is the end of January 11, 2024, and these are the updates that I have for you guys regarding the Palestine-Israel conflict. Let's start off with many innocent Palestinian civilians being murdered. Most of them were children, by the way, after the brutal bombing of a home in Khan Yunis, which is located in southern Gaza. Additionally, many innocent civilians were murdered in Rafah city as well, including the Arjani family, by a brutal Israeli airstrike. A number of injuries occurred among civilians after brutal bombing in Khan Yunis that targeted homes as well, and when paramedics and civilian defense forces came to the rescue of those innocent civilians, the IOF dropped another deliberate Israeli airstrike. The IOF also raided Jabal village, which is south of Jenin, and during the raid, they murdered a young man named Majdi Fashafsa by shooting him. Keep in mind, this village is nowhere near Gaza. So and the age group is in Gaza, so it's pretty obvious that the war is with the humankind. The war is with Palestinians. The war is not against the age group. The IOF also murdered Fahim al-Khatib in Baytunia, west of Ramallah. Once again, it's not in Gaza, so you guys already know what that means. Lastly, a brutal Israeli airstrike targeted a house in Deir al-Bala, central Gaza, which led to the injuries of many innocent Palestinian civilians and murder. That is what I have for y'all today. Stay tuned. Okay, you guys, right now is the end of January 12, 2024, and these are the updates that I have for you guys regarding the Palestine-Israel conflict. First off, huge Israeli forces brutally raided Tulkarm city. The floods of sewage water and tons of garbage filled the schools where thousands of displaced Palestinians are taking shelter. Israeli airstrikes also targeted several sites in Rafah city, southern Gaza, which murdered a lot of Palestinians and injured a lot of innocent Palestinian civilians. The IOF also released a number of Palestinians who were detained from Gaza Strip 54 days ago. Al-Aqsa Hospital in Deir al-Bala, central Gaza, is completely out of electricity due to fuel shortage required to operate generators, which means that the ICU for newborn babies inside incubators is out of electricity as well. Israeli media said that 3 Palestinian gunmen were killed during a gunfire exchange with the IOF near illegal settlement of Adora, which is near Hebron. Lastly, a Palestinian young man named Khalid Zabedi was violently murdered after Israeli soldiers brutally abused him in Zayda village near Tulkarm. Khalid Sabedi isn't the only guy who's been murdered like this. Many innocent Palestinians have always been murdered for 75 years just because Israel feels like it. These are the updates that I have for you guys today. Right now it's the end of January 13, 2024, and it is the 98th day of the Palestine-Israel conflict, and these are the updates that I have for you guys today. Starting off with a gunfire exchange that took place near Al-Aqsa Hospital in Deir al-Bala, which is located in central Gaza. An Israeli artillery shelling violently targeted a bus in Deir al-Bala, central Gaza. Additionally, Israeli airstrikes brutally targeted central Gaza. Gunfire broke out with the IOF after raiding Al-Far'a refugee camp in Tuba city, and they also detained a young man in that city as well, and they also broke down the doors of homes of civilians in that city and went on to wrongfully enter someone's home. The violent IOF opened fire at Palestinians in Deir al-Bala, central Gaza. Additionally, Israeli airstrikes continued amid a full internet and communication outage in the city. Heavy Israeli airstrikes took place in east of Al-Maghazi refugee camp, central Gaza. As famine in Palestine worsens, dozens of desperate Palestinians crowded in front of a bakery in hopes to get bread. Additionally, gunfire exchange with the IOF took place in Jenin city. That was also a violent raid supported by bulldozers that destroyed the streets of the cities. Lastly, southern Gaza was a victim of Israeli airstrikes that targeted homes as well. And I forgot to mention, but a few hours ago, America and UK launched their third attack on Yemen. These are the updates that I have for y'all today. And yeah, hopefully this all ends soon.